when my dad died, I had to go to the south side of Queens. We lived on the north side of Queens. So when my dad died, we had to go to the south side of Queens to live with one of my sisters. I want to say she was about 27, 28, 29, around that age, during that time. Growing up, she was, of course, she was much older. She left the house when she was 18, so I didn't have a relationship with her at all. And to be honest, while my mother and my father was alive, on one hand, I probably could count at least 2-3 times that I did see her. Like, she really didn't come around the family at all, like holidays, anything. Like, I don't remember her being there. But while my father was in the hospital, he had a conversation with my sister, and he asked her to take us in. And she did. And, you know, I didn't have any other choice. The north side of Queens was all I knew. My friends were there. My schools were there. I didn't know anything about the south side, and I didn't want to go, but I had to. My sister, she had a house. My sister had a house. She had purchased a house young. So I think it was about, I think it was like a 3-bedroom house. You know, she had 3 bathrooms. Like, she had it was a decent sized house, a decent sized yard, or whatever. And I didn't mind because, you know, I was used to a house too. My dad had a house, or whatever. And but once he died, he had told them to sell a house, so he sold the house. He told them to sell the house, and then whatever they made from the house, everybody was supposed to split that. Everybody gets $7,000. So since we were the youngest, he told them, you know, we still get the $7,000, but put it up in the trust fund until I believe we was like 18 or 21, something like that. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that later, but we didn't get the money. But anyway, living with her, it was hard. It was real hard. But what I could say right now is I do have conversations with her here and there. She knows how I feel. She knows how I feel. She knows how I felt. She knows how she made me feel. But she never apologized. And a lot of things that I did discuss with her, she said she didn't remember. But, or like she said she didn't remember, or she like told me like I was bad, or, you know, I was this, I was that. It was kind of like putting it on me to take off of, you know, her actions. Or I feel like when people don't want to apologize about certain things, it's because when you apologize, you're basically admitting to what you did. I don't hate her or anything, though. I don't hate her. And I actually, you know, honestly, I forgive her. Sorry. But during those years, it was rough. Because, you know, one, I lost my dad. And at the time, that was the only person that I ever felt real love from. I was confused. I was angry. And I kind of like shut down. And I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about anything at all. Growing up, like in my sister's house, it was really different. It was a lot of rules in place that, you know, I wasn't, you know, used to, especially like being with my dad for so long. And I kind of was like, you know, I felt like I had a childhood at that time. Me and my sister that's a year older than me, we shared a room. And then my 2 little brothers, they shared a room. We couldn't go into each other's room. We couldn't talk to each other in the house. Like, I remember, you know, we all sit at the table and eat dinner together. We couldn't talk at the dinner table. Like, we couldn't even, it was like we was in the military or something. I don't know. But we couldn't talk to each other. We couldn't interact with each other. So the only time that I could, like, talk to my brothers or something is, like, on our way to school, which was we didn't have no other choice but to talk during that time because we had to take 2 buses to get to school since we moved to the south side. It was, as far as like clothes and sneakers and stuff, it was different with her. That was different. I wasn't used to that. Like, you know, she'll set out one outfit or something like that, and like we had to wear that every day. Every day. Like as far as like going to school, like school shopping and stuff, like I was used to, you know, my mom or my dad, you know, we started off with like 2 pair of sneakers, like a white pair of sneakers, a black pair of sneakers, and then like school shoes because we wore a uniform. With her, like we had 1 pair of sneakers, and then we probably didn't get like another pair of sneakers until like, you know, Christmas or something, and that's if, you know, she wanted to do that. Food was different. Food was different. So it was a lot of times I didn't eat. Like I would throw the food in the garbage or flush it down the toilet. Like eating food was different. I remember like if she was being nice, she would give us, you know, give us money to go to the store. And sometimes it'd be $1, but most times it'd be a quarter or 50 cents. And, you know, we could go around the corner to the store. But before we came in the house, like she checked our bags, she checked our pockets, and she did that when we came home from school too. We had to stand, before we entered the house, we had to stand on the porch and open our book bags, and she'll check our pockets and stuff. Like it kind of felt like intake. She'll check our pockets, she'll check our book bags. It was embarrassing because, you know, we coming home from school, so of course other kids on the block is home too, or outside or whatever. If when we came home from school, sometimes if she wasn't home, we had to sit outside. We had to sit outside until she came back. And it didn't matter the weather, cold, hot, rain, sleet, snow. We had to sit outside. We had to sit our asses outside. I could say, as far as me, I feel like with my sister's actions and stuff, I feel like I had it the worst because of the way I was. Like, you couldn't break me. Like, it's nothing that you could do to break me. You know, she used to threaten me, but it's nothing that you could do. So I feel like I had it the worst. And my father always told me too. Like he always told me, I don't care who it is, if it don't feel right, if it don't sound right, say something or you don't have to do it. And that's just how I was because of who my father. And my sister didn't like that. She didn't like that at all. But at the same time too, I was hurting. I was hurting. Like, I remember report card pickups, or like parent teacher conferences. She'll go to our school because we all went to the same school. She'll go to the school and she'll sit down with their teachers, but she would never sit down with mom because she always said, it don't make no sense for me to sit down with any of your teachers anyway. I already know what the fuck they gonna say. You don't do shit. But at the same time, it was, you know, those words did hurt, but I knew what I was doing too. I wasn't going to school. So, you know, it didn't bother me. It would have been nothing that they could say other than I don't come to school. I started cutting school when I was in 6th grade. So what I would do is I would drop my brothers off at school and I'll leave out the back door. And I was doing it for a long time. I was doing it up until 8th grade. So like if the only times really I was in school, if it was real cold, if it was snowing or something like that, you know, I wouldn't cut school. But other than that, I was cutting school. I wasn't going to school. And I was getting suspended and, you know, after school detention and stuff. But I just signed the paperwork myself, so my sister never knew. I don't think I was a bad kid, though. Like, when I was cutting school, I wasn't drinking, I wasn't smoking, I wasn't fucking, I wasn't doing any of that. I literally go to the park and, like, sit in the middle of the jungle gym, and I'll just cry. I would cry all day. I would cry all day because I didn't know what was going on. I had no clue as to, you know, why all of this was happening to me. You know, I was wondering, like, you know, would my birth mother, like, come save me from this? Like, I didn't know. I didn't know. And at that time, I feel like I needed help. Like, I really needed help. Like, my sister, she would tell me things like, you know, you're gonna turn out just like your mother. Or she used to threaten to send me to like boot camp. I had to go through, like, you know, times like watching her get my sister hair done and not getting mine done, or, you know, buying, you know, my siblings something and not buying me anything, celebrate their birthdays and don't celebrate mine. Like, she did things like that purposely to try to break me, and honestly it did hurt me, but it was just something about me that I just was never going to show you that I was hurt. Like, I didn't want you to know that, you know, you won or felt like you won. But that shit hurt. That shit hurt. You know, that's when, you know, the abuse started. Like, she hit us. She hit us. And I feel like at that time, like, I was trying so hard to be strong for my little brothers. And my sister, that's a year older than me. She's older than me, but mentally, I was older than her. So it wasn't like, you know, if I needed somebody to talk to, if I, you know, needed assurance, I could go to my sister. It was like, she always came to me. So it was like, I had to be strong for everybody. And my father always taught us that, you know, brothers and sisters are supposed to stick together. And during those times, I knew what he meant. I knew what he meant, you know, during those times. So I'm trying my best, you know, to show that I'm strong, so that my little brothers, you know, wouldn't be hurting, or my little brothers wouldn't be scared. But I was scared. I was scared as hell. I was scared as hell, but I didn't want them to be scared. So it was kind of like, I felt like I was saving them, but I was hurting myself at the same time. You know, time went on. My sister had came to the school one day to come pick me up. I guess I had a doctor's appointment, but I didn't know. And she, I guess, like, she played it off. She played it off, like, when I got home, like, oh, how was school? And I already knew something was up, because she don't ask me stuff like that. She didn't care. She didn't care to ask me anything like that. So I already knew what, you know, was up. But of course, you know, I'm gonna stick to it. Like, oh, school was good. Boom, smack me. You a lying ass bitch. You a liar. I went to your school to come get you and you wasn't there. And she, you know, just threw, like, all the paperwork that I done signed, you know, her name, with me getting suspended and stuff like that. And, like, she went off. She went off and she beat me with an extension cord. And she beat me so bad. Well, it was different. Like, I be knowing, like, the different types of rage. Like, when I see someone mad, I know when someone is mad at what happened in that moment, or when someone is mad at some things that done happen in their past, so everything is just coming back. I know the difference. Excuse me. I know the difference. So I know my sister was hurt. I just didn't know why, but she, you know, she took it out on me. And I feel like, because of, you know, everything that I was doing, or my attitude or whatever, it probably gave her, you know, even more reason or whatever. But she beat me so bad that she didn't even realize that she was hitting me in the face with the extension cord. And of course, you could see I'm light. So this whole side of my face was split open. And she knew, and she told me, and you're going to take your ass to school too. And that's what I did. I went to school. I didn't say nothing, because I was the type, like, I never said anything that was going on in my house. I never told on anybody that did anything to me. Like, I just never said anything. But this boy in my class, my 8th grade class, my social studies class at that, and he's, you know, he's sitting to the right of me, and he just like, oh my gosh, Shanique, your face. And I'm telling him, like, shh. He like, your face. So my teacher, he turned around and like, what's going on? And he saw my face, and he sent me to the dean. So now, you know, I'm stuck, you know, in a position, because it's like, I don't want to tell, but, you know, they're going to make me tell, and then what's going to happen, you know, to my brothers, and what's going to happen to me, and they're going to split us up. Like, it's mad stuff going through my head. or whatever. And he, you know, he telling me like, I can't let you leave this office until you tell me what's going on, like what happened to your face. And then I just start, you know, I just start blowing out crying because I didn't know what to do. So I ended up, you know, telling him what happened. So when I went home that day, in New York, child services called ACS. So ACS was at my house. When I had got home or whatever, you know, they talked to me, and we had to go down to their little office and like view our bodies, take pictures of our bodies, pictures of scars on our body, and we had a lot. We had a lot of scars. So I think they were a little bit more lenient to my sister because she was young, and because like really we didn't have nowhere else to go. And you know, that was a part of my father's will for all of us to stay together. And we're teenagers at the time. I'm in 8th grade, so we triple back. So it's 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. My sister and my other sister that's a year older than me, she's in 9th grade at the time. You really don't see too many families that's into the adoption thing that's gonna take 4 teenagers like that, especially 4 teenagers that done been through, you know, traumatic things. You don't see it. So they allow her to take parenting classes. I can't remember how many parenting classes she had to take, or you know, if it was like months or weeks. I can't remember, but I do remember that she probably only did about 2, maybe 3, and then she was just like, I can't, you know, do this anymore. So she had called us downstairs, and she you know, she talked to us and was telling us, you know, I can't do this, you know, I'm young, you know, I tried, but it's too much going on. I feel like y'all benefit more going to Chicago with, I was about to say the name, but with my cousin. I didn't know her. I didn't know the cousin, but you know, I knew of the cousin. Just like, you know, it was a lot of people in, you know, in that family in Chicago that, you know, I probably remember when I was young. That's my mother's side of the family. But they haven't been around for so long. Like when my mom died, they didn't come around, you know. So it was kind of like, you know, I heard the name, but I don't know who it is. But I think I was excited. I was excited to go to Chicago. So the first thing I said was yes, because I felt like you know, I lost my mom here, I lost my dad here, you know, the abuse that I've been, you know, dealing with. Like maybe if I go to Chicago, I could get a fresh start over. Nobody knows me, you know. I don't have to explain myself, I don't have to not be myself or whatever. So they looked up to me, so of course, and they wasn't gonna go nowhere that I didn't go, and it's just that. So of course, when I said yes, they said yes too. So my cousin had came down for a week, and that was like the time for her to get to know us or meet us, and us meet her. The whole week, me and this lady got into it. Me and her daughter got into it. The whole week she came to New York, the whole entire week. So I had to, and I just didn't care. I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Because I just, for one, I felt, as soon as I met her, I just felt like, you know, something was wrong with her from the rip. And, you know, you older than me or not, or family member or not, I don't even know you. So you definitely not going to come, you know, into my home. You know what I'm saying? And talk to me crazy or talk to my brothers crazy. That's one thing I never allowed. My brother's off limit. So we got into it a lot, and me and her, like, we really bumped heads a lot. And it was to the point where, like, and she's big. She's a big lady. She's a big lady. And it was to the point where, like, my sister had to, you know, get in between this lady. You know what I'm saying? Because it was that bad. So she ended up telling my sister, because we were supposed to leave in the summertime. I was in the summer of when I was in 8th grade. We were supposed to leave that summer, but I had to do summer school, of course. But she told my sister that she didn't want me. She said she'll take the other 3, but she didn't want me. So my sister told her, if you don't take her, then you can't take any of them. So she decided, you know, to let me come. So my 2 younger brothers, they went as soon as school was over. I had to do summer school. So my sister that's a year older than me, she stayed until I finished summer school. I ended up finishing summer school early. It was just a couple of projects that I had to get out the way, and I was able to go. So I probably left. Well, me and my sister, we probably went down there in August, I want to say. And I was really, really excited, and I was glad that I only had to do a couple of projects because I missed my brothers. Like, I'd never been away from them before. So we got on a bus. We went to the bus station, the Greyhound, and my older sister, she pulled me to the side before we got on the bus, and she told me not. She was like, don't change. Look out for your brothers. Look out for your sister. Help them with their homework, like little things like that or whatever. And that was kind of like shocking to me because you're telling me not to change, but you didn't like the way I was on my attitude when I was in your house or under your care. But that's not for nothing though. Like, you don't have to tell me to do what I'm already do. My father taught me that. My father told me to do that or whatever. So we on the bus. We finally get to Chicago. My older cousin, God rest his soul, he picked us up from the bus station, and he was really cool. He was really, really, really cool. Like, he had good energy, all of that or whatever. So we pull up to the house. I'm ecstatic because I get to see my brothers. Like, that's all I've been wanting to see, the whole time. Like, they've been in Chicago and I was still in New York. Like, they're all I wanted to see. So we pull up, I get out, knock on the door. I hear footsteps running to the door, whatever, open the door. And my two brothers, like, they had this look that I never seen in my life. I never saw them look like that before. It was like they were there. Their body was there, but they weren't there. It was like they were like a death look. And the first thing, I didn't say hi. I didn't say, how you doing? The first thing I asked was, what happened? And, their eyes started, tearing up. And I'm asking, what happened? What happened? What's going on? And, it made me tear up. It made me tear up. My youngest brother, like, he was like on my head. Like, he's always been like that. Like, especially he was younger. And, when that relief was like when you finally could talk, he was about to, start crying or whatever. And it made me tear up. It made me tear up because it was like, what, like, why can't I get this right? Why can't I get this right? Like, I agreed to come to Chicago because I'm thinking that, we could just start over and start fresh and that we'll be okay. And we wasn't.